Hey, Saints fans and Who from all over the world. This is Kyle T. Mosley. I am on the line with the Professor Derek Craig Stevens. What's going on, D?
Hey, what's up, man? Exciting game, man. Unfortunately, we were on the wrong end of the game, and basically the game comes down to three things. Number one, the defense fell apart after Delvin Breaux went out and gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. The Eagles was on top 24-13, and the defense did not show up in the fourth quarter. Played great for three quarters and then failed to close out the deal. Number two, you still a 50-yarder. And I wonder if the Saints had not used up all of their timeouts the way they did, if Drew could have gotten him in 5 yards closer, if he would have made it. So you have to look at time management by Coach Payton and the Saints, once again, which was a problem over the last two seasons. And then finally, the other problem is with the Saints in terms of this loss is that they have not been able to close out games. They do not know how to win close games anymore. And this is another game where the Saints were unable. The penalty by Fred Robinson on fourth down was huge. When you have a young team, this is what happens to the Who-Dat Nation. You have to understand the Saints are a very young team. And until we get some veterans in here or these guys get, some longevity or long in the wind or they're able to play, you're going to just have these kind of mistakes. And so it's a tough loss. I don't know where we go from here because these guys are young. And the Saints have now lost 5 games in a row if you count the 4 in preseason. Drew Brees looks like the Hall of Fame he is. One thing, bright spot, our wide receivers, Cook, Snead, Thomas. I mean, they're going to be something to deal with this year. Kobe Senior does not fit in. I don't know what the problem is with him, but he does not fit in like Watson nor Graham. And also, you have to remember the Saints left 2 drives inside the 10 where they kicked field goals. That red zone offense is not good. It has not been great since Jimmy Graham left. So you just have to keep all of this, in since I was taking notes throughout every quarter, so I got a list of notes that I bring to you, the Saints News Radio and Professor Speak. Very tough loss. Very tough loss. Great effort. Crowd was loud. It's just a shame that that they waited to the fourth quarter for the defense to collapse like this. Very, very disappointing loss.
Well, and you brought up a good point when I was speaking with you earlier. The Saints had Crabtree one-on-one with the undrafted free agent rookie Crowley. And I'm just thinking, why wouldn't you have double-teamed him? Because we still had Vaccaro available to double team him. He was in the end zone as a safety, playing the safety route, but you knew that these guys were going to try to do some type of fade pass, especially one-on-one against the rookie, and Crabtree had the height advantage on him as well. I just didn't understand, and you saw they were picking on the young guy. It's just kind of mind-boggling to me when it comes to that play. Why wouldn't you give him extra support?
Because that, to me, as I stated on Wednesday, the problem with the Saints is coaching. No one wants to admit that. Coaching. You already saw on the previous drive that Crabtree became the goal man for Carr, and Dennis Allen did not adjust. Or whoever was the captain, Laurinaitis, or whoever was the coach back then in the secondary, I would have lined 4 people on the goal line, and I would have had 3 or 4 people back 4 yards, 5 yards deep in the end zone. 7 people would have been in that end zone. And that is a coaching issue when you don't call the right play or the technique because you know he was going to. And that's a coaching issue, and this is what I've been stating. The New Orleans Saints' problem is coaching. Period and point blank. It is coaching. They have a problem in the area of coaching. And I don't know how you fix it, but that was poor defensive coaching by Coach Allen in the fourth quarter with his defense. The run defense had did decent, and then they give up a 75-yard run. And, it's just I don't know what else to say. I mean, I really don't, Kyle. It's just this team cannot get its act together. It just simply cannot get its act together. And you're going to have to take a look and say, maybe Coach Payton has done the best he can, because you came home and you put up a great effort for 3 quarters, and your team does not know how to play in a 4-quarter game. You got to go back to the Tennessee Titans games last year, Detroit Lions game last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, games, even the Arizona Cardinals game, the games that the Saints could have won. Even if you go back to 2014, when you look at that season, the Carolina game, the 2 Carolina games, I mean, you just look at the Saints have lost so many games by 8 points or less. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. They're going to give you an effort, but unfortunately, when you cannot convert points, and this is the thing people say, we know the Saints cannot score every time they drive the ball. But that last drive when they had first and goal at the 7, and the play calling down there was very just not the best. And they kicked the field goal. And then early in the game, they kicked the field goal and they got down inside the 15. You cannot be, in the red zone, be like, I think they were 1 of 4, or either 2 of 5, something like that. They couldn't convert touchdowns. And that is a problem. I'm not saying you got to score 40 points, 34 points, you're supposed to win. So I do not blame this on the offense at all. But you have to realize your strength is your offense. So you'll need your offense to, unfortunately, every week play at 90%, which is unrealistic expectation because they're not going to be able to do that. The defense lost this game. The defense played horrible in the 4th quarter. They did a F or a Z for the 4th quarter. They waited till the last quarter of the game to just play horrible. You have no pass rush. I don't know what they're going to do in that area.
Yeah, I'm glad you stated that. Where was the pass rush? I didn't see Kruger getting to the quarterback at all. I didn't see Cam Jordan getting to the quarterback at all. Up front, I only saw a couple of pressures from Fairley as well as Davison. It was an anemic performance by our defensive line. That's something we knew would be an issue. Kruger was supposedly somebody who could be able to help with this issue, but he did not perform well, man. Someone else who
Bill Johnson, once again, coaching Bill Johnson. You will not remove Bill Johnson, and you're going to continue to get the same results. You're bringing in different players and everything. You cannot continue to blame this on the players before you have to look at who is the leader of that particular unit, and that's Bill Johnson.
Yeah. You went into the rest of this game, man, and I'm just got to say this, D. You rolled the dice. You had undrafted free agent rookie cornerbacks. You let Keenan Lewis go. Delvin Breaux had an injury, which could have been one of the key injuries of the game for the New Orleans Saints. Kobe Fleener, oh my God, just one catch the whole game, man. And it's just, you're paying this guy a lot of money. We paid a lot of money to people who have been unproductive. Hopefully the rest of the season, we have 15 more games to go. Don't get me wrong, but Drew Brees had a 400-yard performance. He went 28 out of 42 for 66.7% in his completion rating, and he had 423 yards with 4 touchdowns. And we can only say our free agent acquisition in Kobe Fleener only accounted for 1 catch for 6 yards.
Yep.
For 6 yards.
He did not have a good training camp, and there was a reason why Indianapolis let him go. See, I say this, and I'll say it again. 2 horrible mistakes and C.J. Spillers, and he wasn't active at all. And you got rid of Darren Sproles and Jimmy Graham, and you have not found replacements for them at all. And those 2 make a difference when you're in the red zone. When you have to cover Darren Sproles and Jimmy Graham. Could you imagine if you still had Darren Sproles and Jimmy Graham to go along with Michael Thomas, Willie Snead, and Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
You do not have a red zone target, and that is also a factor in why you lost. I mean, the defense lost the game, but there are other small things where you could have put this game way out of control. And don't forget, you lost the turnover battle. You had 2 near interceptions that was not able to you weren't able to complete the task of getting interceptions, and you turned over the ball that one time. But guess what? It made the difference, and you're winning and losing.
Yeah,
and they kicked the
points.
field goal.
That's
so
right.
you're losing games because you're losing a turnover battle. You're losing games because your red zone offense is not efficient, and you're losing games because your defense still cannot play a whole lead in the fourth quarter. The same problems before that you had last year are still plaguing this team. Good effort, great effort, exciting game, enjoyable for the fans. But Louisiana sports looks to be in trouble this year between LSU and the Saints. I just saw the fans just hanging there. It's early enough in the season, but 0-1, when the Saints start off 0-1, their records don't usually transcend into anything great by the end of the season. They have got to get off to a good start, and now they're digging a hole with that hard schedule coming up in October. So I don't know. They're going up to New York. I'm going to watch this Giants game to see what the Giants look like. But Odell Beckham, once again, gives me nightmares because if Delvin Breaux is not able to play. So I don't know what they're going to do. Call Cortland, that gentleman Cortland Finnegan back or what. But you've got another situation where the secondary.
Yeah, and they picked up Sterling Moore, and he was inactive for the game. Now we kind of finally figure out by the tweet C.J. Spiller had earlier this week. He was upset because he was going to be active for this game. I really love the effort. I applaud the effort from these young guys. You can see they made some strides there. Drew Brees seemed like he is we're going to have to rely on his arm more and more to be able to win these games.
Yep. That's the only way we're going to win, Kyle. Unless the Saints offense can put up 35 points a game, they're not going to be able to do that when they're playing the likes of Carolina, Seattle, Denver, Kansas City, and all of these, the Rams and all of these tough front defenses. Andrews Peak, I got to give him credit. He held his own. The offensive line played pretty solid. There was some pass rush, and one sack, one was called back, but he held up the line. It's just a shame that the offense gave the effort they gave, and the defense just wasted the offense effort. You're not supposed to lose games when you get 34 points, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I still say the problem is Joe Bitt and Bill Johnson is coaching, because whatever they're coaching, this defense cannot either understand, pick up, don't have the fortitude or intelligence to understand what they're trying to teach or what they're trying to do. It just does not work, because I was just in shock at what happened in the fourth quarter. You leading 24-13 going into the fourth quarter.
Let's look at some of the defensive stats, and I want you to just listen to this, because I really believe if Craig Robinson would have kept his hands to himself, because the ball was headed out of bounds anyway. If he would have just kept his hands to himself, that would have been a moot point right there. Craig Robinson led the team with 8 tackles. Vaccaro had 5. Crowley had 4. Laurinaitis had 3. P.J. Williams had 3. Harris had 3. Bird had 2. Farley, I keep on calling that boy Farley. Like, hey, what's up, little Farley? Fairley had 2. Marty had 2. But here's the one that really stood out for me as troubling. Stephon Anthony had 1 tackle, and that tackle was only in the fourth quarter of the game. That was really shocking to me to see on the stat sheet, as well as his performance. So, wow. I know it looks like we're nitpicking, but I'm not trying to nitpick.